Ladies, we are officially back. Three girls, one track. We're officially recording again.
We've been gone for a minute.
Your podcast. We've been gone for
but we back.
minute. But we're back. We're back. I'm your podcast
Hello.
host, Afsa.
I'm back.
I'm Felicia.
And we're Three Girls, One Track. We're bringing you F1 pod realness, as I'm sure some of you on YouTube and maybe Spotify, if I can figure out how to get it to work, may have noticed we're on camera this year. So bigger, better thing. We're bringing you weekly episodes. We're bringing you consistent uploads. We're bringing you better
consistency.
Sharper episodes. Okay, everybody get excited for more Three Girls, One Track this year.
The party is
Sorry
back.
for disappearing on you for months.
I know we I think
life been
we
life,
all
but it's
saw
okay.
the writing on the wall, and we just was like, let's just jump ship because I actually don't want to talk about this.
I didn't need to live in a world where Lando was champion, and so
I know
we took a hiatus. We took a hiatus, but we're back.
The biggest disappointment of the season.
We have better hopes for this year, and we'll get into those hopes in a future episode. But for now, we're back. I know you're so happy to have us, Three Girls, One Track listeners, because it's been a while. But we're going to bring you into a little bit of what's going on regs-wise, what's going on testing. The bitches are already fighting, which is what we love to see. It's already They're already fighting, and wheels have barely hit the track. So everybody get hype. But I'll start us off with our technical regulations. Do the people know what's going on with these technical regulations?
So I've heard a lot, but like
a little bit, but explain.
It pertains like the nitty gritty and like what that means, like how it's going to look different, what is going to change in terms of a product for viewers. I don't really know.
Okay, so I'll note a couple of things that are going to change. I'm going to focus first on what they said the regulation changes were, and then we'll get a little bit into what the drivers are saying are the outcomes of those regulation changes. So, first thing, which I think is huge, is the cars are smaller and lighter. So, physical size of the cars is in like length and width smaller. And they also made it so that the minimum weight of each car is less. What I think is going to be the biggest, like, for us viewers in our face change is they killed DRS. So now DRS is gone. Everybody has active aero all the time with their front and back wings are going to open up. But they now have given us 2 fake DRSs.
What do you mean by that?
Weird. So there's overtake mode, which is like DRS, but instead of it being about drag reduction, it's just about engine power. And so drivers can like hit that button similarly to how they could hit DRS. And
have you seen Fast and Furious?
No,
girl.
I've only seen one Fast and Furious movie. It's the gay one.
Girl,
I don't think I've ever seen one. That's the gay one, and I've seen all of them.
If you watch
there's
it
a gay Fast and Furious.
Through the lens I was watching it through, there's not an explicitly gay Fast and Furious, but they're being really homoerotic in the Fast and Furious I watch.
Which one? Can you tell me?
Which one?
Gabby showed me. I'll text you afterwards which one it is. I don't remember which one it is. I don't remember. I'll
Gabby.
All right, then never mind. I'm sorry. I was going to make a reference, but y'all will have no idea what I'm talking about. So continue.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Overtake mode is like DRS, but it's just for engine power, and then they have.
What?
And then they have boost, which is I'm ignoring both of you. And then they have boost, which is again more engine power, but you can do it whenever you want. But the problem is it's like purely dependent on battery charge, and now the drivers oversee their own like battery recharge through like lifting and coasting, braking, like going, all the things that would make it so you're not using your battery. We're gonna get into the whole drivers controlling their own battery thing when we get to testing, because the bitches are not happy. The bitches are very upset.
The bitches being the
And
drivers or
the
their engineers?
last, the drivers. I'm sure the engineers are
Okay.
also annoyed. And then the last big thing has nothing to do actually with the specific regulations as they will matter to us fans, but it has already caused a little bit of drama in the F1 community. So they changed the compression ratio for the cars, for these engines, for these new regs. Which the compression ratio essentially is like, yes. So the compression ratio is basically when your engine cylinder is fully open, what volume is it? And when is it closest to its crank? What volume is it? For the past 10 years, it's been 18 to 1, right? So when you're at the top and when you're at the bottom, it's an 18 to 1 ratio. For 2026, they've changed it to a 16 to 1 ratio. So basically, you get less oomph going on. In terms of volume.
I mean, okay. So that's significant.
That's significant
enough.
Yes.
What did that translate to in the race?
Just like less engine power, less like.
So they won't be able to go faster. I mean, fast.
So, yes. So in theory, if you were able to have a higher compression ratio, similar to what you would have had in 2025, your car would naturally go faster because the engine can basically intake more to like be doing its thing.
Okay.
Mercedes has figured out a way so that the engine, when it's measured at ambient temperature, not when it's running, which is when the FIA checks, they have the right ratio. When the engine runs and gets hot, however, they've managed to get it to run at the old ratio, which would give Mercedes a major advantage engine-wise. Now, it was previously rumored... Oh, sorry, you go, Max.
No, I was going to say, is that like... I mean, to me, that is skirting around the letter of the law.
Yes.
And so, therefore...
But it's still going to end up being in regulation.
It is in regulation.
This happens every year. People skirt around it, and then sometime during the season, they end up having to clean up regs, and then people get screwed. Why don't you? Everyone seems to know that now. Why don't you clean up the rules before the season starts to avoid those in-season scrambles that they cause when they decide to change or fine-tune regs?
Yes. So the reason why I actually don't think this one's going to get changed necessarily is because this one's not even really I'd say this one is more similar to what happened with McLaren's wing last year, where
flexi wing,
under the rules that they have set, very explicitly, right? Under the rules that have been set, this thing measures perfectly fine. Which is we measure it at ambient temperature, and like for the engine it's ambient temperature. For your wing width, it's at like static, whatever. So the way that we said we're going to measure you, you have hit. However, under actual race conditions, things change a little bit. And so I think they're going to treat it similarly to the flexi wing, where it's like, we can't measure your flexi wing under load. Right? Like, I can't get out there with a little caliper while you're driving and go like, this is how wide it is. The same way that like you can't run the engine at race temp and go like, okay, now let me see what the volume of the engine is, because the second that you stop it so it can be measured, you would no longer be at race operation and race temp, right? So I think that it's like an interesting one where it's like, even if they change it, I'll be interested to see how they change it to actually be measurable about what's happening in race. Because I think that's the problem, is they're setting their standards at static and ambient for things that may change when you are under a racing temperature.
So I got a question.
Or under racing like load. Yeah.
Okay.
If they are able to figure out that while Mercedes is racing, the volume is changing, they're able to measure that. They can't do that for the other things?
So, this is the funny thing that I was about to get into.
Like, you have a way of measuring these things, which is how you know it's out of regulation. but you're still letting it
No,
slide, even though you know it.
no. That's
No.
the funny part. The FIA didn't measure them during race temperature or like whatever and find out they were out of regulation and then go like, oh well. A Mercedes, it's rumored that somehow the information leaked from Mercedes to Red Bull
What the?
that they had this ability to do this. Red Bull then tried to build their engine to have the same trick. And upon being unsuccessful, Red Bull turned that engine trick into the FIA and said, hey, this is what Mercedes is doing for their engine. Don't ask us how we know. But they're doing something to the engine you might want to check.
Okay.
And
So there's
that's how
foolery
knows
afoot.
that the Mercedes engine is out of regulation, is that Red Bull snitched on them when they couldn't get their engine to work the same way.
That's such a
These
bitch
people-
ass
I
move.
love my evil team. I love my evil
Such
team.
a bitch ass move.
I love them.
But that's what they get for getting rid of Car Jesus.
They're evil, but I love them.
Adrian
Newey
Newey.
could have figured this one out. Adrian could have figured this out.
Oh,
Adrian could have done this. I believe
Mm-hmm.
he could have figured it out.
he could have figured it out. Why can't he
I think he
at,
could've.
at
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin uses Mercedes engines. So they technically have figured it out. Also, rumor is that Adrian Newey fucking... I don't know if it's true that he hates Alonso or if it's pure coincidence, but Adrian Newey has been making Alonso's life hell for like a decade. And so it's really funny that he has now moved to his team to make his life hell, and all of a sudden, Adrian Newey can't produce a rocket ship anymore. Now there's for Alonso. I think it's really funny.
I think it's interesting that I don't know. I always find it interesting that Adrian Newey moved to Aston Martin when I feel like the whole field was courting him. He could have gone somewhere better.
Instead, you want to build a car for Fernando and Lance.
Well, but Daddy Stroll got that money, honey.
That is true. That is
Got
true.
that money.
At that age and stage in life, if I can just go up, show up, do the bare minimum, I've already won my championships. I already have the career. What else do I need? Just put some money in my pocket. Okay.
People literally call him things like Car Jesus.
Is that all the regs?
That's
for
all
the
the
season?
regs that I think that we really need to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
There's also no more ground effect, that thing that Lewis hated that sucks you to the ground. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
Floors are back to being flat. Nobody cares. They simplified the front and back wings. Nobody cares. It's going to be this whole engine, DRS, fake overtake, blah, blah, blah thing that's really going to cause some issues. And speaking of causing issues, we've had a couple rounds of testing already.
I was going to
The boys
ask
back out on the track.
who's doing the best
Um,
under these new regs,
So
or who did the best in testing under these new regs.
we've had a couple back and forths in testing. Me personally, I don't believe in the testing timing sheets meaning jack shit. I think testing timing sheets mean them out as much as like practice one, and even then they mean less. Because one, you're running all kinds of setups that you might not even bring to the race.
Mhm.
Two, you're all running different kinds of setups that you might not bring to the race. And three, bitches be lying. The top teams are known to sandbag in testing. Like, I would not be surprised if it's just a mess out there. So I'm not
Like
paying
if
attention
McLaren's on top.
personally. McLaren's on top. Charles was on top. Somebody
Fuck
else I
Kimmy.
think did. Kimmy did really well. You know, I acknowledge that those things happened. I don't take them super seriously because,
Okay.
like, testing timing to me is fake. What might be real is the comments that come out of drivers during testing.
Okay, here we go.
And we have gotten some feedback from our championship caliber racers. I'm talking Lewis, Max, and Fernando, the big
Championship
dogs.
caliber.
I'm talking the big dogs. Okay. We
Very
have a couple
blatantly
things-
excluding one.
I said what I said. From Lewis Hamilton, we have none of the fans are going to understand it. It's so complex, ridiculously complex. I sat in a meeting the other day, and they were talking us through it. It's like you need a degree to fully understand it all. He was also saying that he was in 7 meetings that day trying to understand what the hell was going on with that goddamn car. Okay?
Is there a degree among any of the drivers?
No. Girl, They barely finished high school.
A degree.
Not even
Just
an associate's degree.
Wow.
just a
Not a
thought.
well, I mean, I guess they don't have time for higher
No,
education.
they don't. Um,
Wow. Right, because they find them before they even get a driver's license.
yes, when they're babies.
Yeah.
Um, we also have Fernando Alonso, who commented on the fact that it feels more like this car will rely less on driver skill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get into the people who didn't have any problems with these regulation changes thus far. Maybe that's
We
on
know
them.
who that
Um,
is.
but he said it relies a little bit less on a driver's skill. From a driver's point of view, you want to drive 100%, and now I think you need to think a bit more than that. Max was calling out the fact that they don't feel very F1 like in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that you have to like lift and coast and you have to go a little bit slower to get the most out of the car. With all three basically just being like, I want to drive fast car and zoom,
Mm-hmm.
zoom, zoom. This
Mm-hmm.
regulation makes it so I can't zoom, zoom, zoom. So y'all got beef with me because I can't drive fast and
Didn't Max
still
say
get
it
the
was
most out
like
of
a
this car.
Formula E car on
E-car,
steroids?
which is like the biggest insult that he could possibly give a car. Is to call that shit a Formula E car.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Max is not happy.
Yeah, they're basically all saying that you need to focus on energy management so much, back to that whole thing about the drivers now being in charge of their battery, that like
Mm-hmm.
you need to make sure that your battery is as high as possible at all times, because unless you do that, you won't be able to use these like overtake mode and boost mode and blah 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 blah. But that means that like you're going down a straight, and instead of trying to underbrake your opponent, you gotta brake good 300 meters back to save a battery. You can't go full throttle up until the point that you physically need to brake anymore. So
Mm.
they're not loving it. They're not having a good time. They obviously all noted the baddest bitch is always going to be the baddest bitch. They can
Well,
drive well under the regs. They just find it annoying and they don't like it.
absolutely.
Of course, we had some people who were like, why complain about regulations? We get paid millions of dollars. We should never complain about anything the FIA says and does. Lando Norris and George Russell.
God. If you think it's so bad, he can just quit.
Retire. And I'm like, girl,
You wish he would.
let bitches complain about things. I'm a firm believer. Complain about your job. I think everybody should complain about their job all the time. Even
I
for an
agree.
F1 racer, complain about your job. I'm 10 toes down. Always complain about your job. Okay?
Oh,
I don't
God.
think that being an F1 driver makes you fall out of the camp of people who are allowed to complain about their job. Okay? As long as you're not being a crazy person, being like, I get paid too little for my job, then you're talking crazy. But just complain. That's your right. I think you should complain.
The thing with Lando with that statement that kind of pissed me off. He's like, we get paid a lot of money to drive cars. I'm like, you make it sound so simple. And it's like you actually are doing a lot.
Yeah. Like, I think that it's okay if they want better cars. I think we should all want a better car.
He's just like,
You should
oh, just
all
drive
want a
what they
fast
give
car.
you. What?
Like, you
No.
all want a fast car. Why are you lying like you don't want a fast car? You just
Because
wanted to say
McLaren is
something.
doing something shady in that garage.
Yeah, like y'all just wanted to say something. I'm sorry. If I have to go with Max, Lewis, and Fernando, or Lando and George on car opinions, I think I know where I land. And it's with the combined.
But you know
13
who has
championships.
their heads down and is just doing the work? The rookies.
They're working. I ain't seen one clip from them except to go,
Not a
I'm
lick
in
from
the
near
stew.
one of them.
Driving.
Okay.
They're at work. They're
Kimmy is
as they should
busting balls over there, and
Kimmy's
George
putting in work as he should be.
is being put on notice.
I was confused when you said the rookies because I
Why?
Well,
automatically
yeah,
thought
they're
of
always
the
going to be
six,
rookies to us. 'Cause
the
they're
six
babies.
rookies.
They're
and
still
I was like,
rookies.
oh,
They're still
they're not
rookies.
rookies.
They are.
That's exactly who you were talking about.
That is exactly what
I
I'm
also think it is very funny that this
Mm.
is Franco Colapinto's third rookie season because he has yet to
to
start
actually
an
get
F1
a
season.
see.
He has not started an F1
That
season until this year.
poor baby.
It's really funny.
Poor
But I love it.
baby. I don't think when I think of Franco Colapinto, I don't think poor baby. I think enough.
That's you're
Pack it up.
so rude.
Pack it up. Pack it up.
Some people don't just jump in the car and pull out, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton results.
Not everybody can be the Kings. That's not
I
everybody's
You
job.
know
got
who I
that.
do want to hear from, though? Sweet baby Isaac. Because
Yeah,
what
He
is Red
said
Bull
now.
doing to him over there?
I'm scared. I
You
honestly
know?
I can't hear anything from him until race day number 1 because I'm terrified and my soul is full of fear. So I don't even want to think about him until the day comes and he
He's
gets
been
that
real silent over
P18
there.
and
I'm
that Red
like,
Bull.
mm.
That'll be what it is. But okay.
Did you
Our
say
last thing that
P18 in that Red
you
Bull?
heard me, I said P18 and that Red Bull. I'll still love him through all of it though. Don't
Of
worry.
course, Natch.
That's our baby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my last thing that I have for you ladies, RE testing, um, is that as per usual, McLaren has stepped in to be a little bitch.
Mm.
And they are calling for 3 rule changes before we head to Australia. Now, for some context, these regulations and the engine changes and everything were given to the team principals and the teams about a year in advance of when they
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to start building their engines. So they
So
had
even
mucho
over a
advance
year.
notice. Yes, they had a lot of advance notice on what exactly would be happening. In one of
Devil's
these early
advocate.
meetings, huh?
Devil's advocate.
Okay, yeah.
You sure you had over a year, but they also were working on winning a driver's championship and a constructor's
And
championship.
I'll take that
So
one, but I'll take that.
I
But
think that like you don't know it until you put it on a track and it's going.
except sometimes you do know it. Because other team principals will call out blatant issues in the regulations and try to get them changed. And you will purposely ignore them when they try to get it changed. A la our beautiful boy Fred Vasseur brought up that these engines would absolutely screw up the current start procedure and that it would make it so that starts were more unsafe, they were more unpredictable, it might cause issues when drivers start because of the fact that it required basically a longer warm up and a more tedious starting procedure in order to get the engines in a good place to not stall out.
Is it?
Fred brought that
Is
up
it?
a year ago.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway,
They also
I'm
brought
moving on.
up the size changes and the moving wings too.
Hold on. Let's go
Go for
back.
it.
Chaotic start. I know it could be dangerous, but I'm kind of here for it.
I
I
know
I'm
love
also
you
here for
chaotic.
are.
it.
I
I'm
like
also
a
here
You
for it.
chaotic
you
start.
want
I
wings a flying.
Yes.
I like. If F1's not chaotic, it's like, what am I watching it for?
I agree with Bex. As long as nobody dies, I'm Gucci Gang with
Yeah,
chaotic start.
like as long as we're
Um,
not getting a death on track or not, no one's like being
I don't
No
engulfed
want
in
any
like
serious
a
injuries.
injuries.
firebomb.
I don't want
Yeah,
any
no.
serious
Oh my god.
injuries.
Oh
Like I
god.
wouldn't
We don't
mind
need
mild
Grosjean on the
injuries.
starting track.
Like I don't
Not
mind a mild injury, but like serious
somebody atop somebody's
career-ending.
head, but they can walk to the
No,
ambulance.
I actually, that one was like
No,
chaotic.
That
that
was
you're
terrifying.
giving Bex trauma flashbacks.
I see. She said no.
Immediately no.
So yeah, like chaos. I'm here
Hmm.
for it. I don't
Yes, I'm
kind of
also here for it.
care.
I'm also
But
here
I
for
do.
it, which is
I
why
can see your point in saying that Fred Vasseur brought up issues a year ago. But I also think I don't know. I think this year we need to work as a collective to not be so hard on on McLaren this year.
and I
Girl,
would, and
what?
I was. Okay.
Zach
I think
Brown?
we need to.
Absolutely.
I think as a collective we need to
You
be a
want
little
me? You
bit
want me
more
to have
objective.
to have kindness for anyone in orange other than Oscar Piastri? Zach
I
Brown,
think
Lando
we
Norris.
need
Really?
to work on
Never.
being more objective
That man just
and
stuck
not.
his head even further up his ass with a constructor's championship and a driver's championship. No, I'm not adding fuel to that fire.
You don't have to add fuel to the fire. I'm just saying we can be more objective.
They got all the slack last year. They're not getting it this
Not a
year.
single where I want y'all to state it,
Not from me,
highlight.
from the FIA,
So
from the
I'm just
F1.
saying, I just think it
The
would be
F1.
better if this year we could be a little bit more objective.
And you know what, Bex, we will take that on as a goal of the podcast.
Good. Glad to
That
hear it.
is a journey I will allow you both to go on together.
I don't
Enjoy.
need to go on it because I have been objective.
And you know what,
That's
Bex?
great.
I support that for you.
I
I
want to
support
be petty.
There's no
And we
point in
all
being
will
petty.
stand where we stand.
I
There's no
don't
point in being
care.
petty, first and foremost. But we will all stand where we stand. But back to what I was saying, okay? Not only did Fred bring this up a year ago, that this would cause issues with the start procedure, Ferrari, after every other person ignored them, including McLaren, when Ferrari said, we need to make changes, they all ignored them and they went, we don't want changes made, you're delusional, okay? Ferrari went, okay, so we're going to adjust our engine to not have this issue. Now, that McLaren didn't put in the work to change this issue, they're trying to present it as a safety concern so that Ferrari doesn't get a say in whether or not it gets changed. Because typically, whenever you're proposing a rule change that isn't a safety concern, it has to be unanimous. All the teams have to agree to make the change. So obviously, Ferrari would go,
No.
we made the change that we needed to make, that we told you guys to make. You chose not to do that because it would make you slower. That's your problem. So now McLaren is trying to make it a safety issue. That's one of the safety issues they're trying to make. The other two, that's fine.
Wait,
I'll bring
so
up what the other
question.
two are.
If Ferrari made this change because they noticed a safety issue and they chose to do something different, how is it now a safety issue that they did something to rectify a safety issue?
So it's
Because the underlying issue is still a safety issue.
yeah. So like the thing is, Ferrari didn't even. I don't think they brought it up initially as a safety issue. They just brought it up as like, hey, this is gonna mess with the start procedure. This could be a blanket general issue. They decide to make the change to their engine, even though it'll make them slower, to avoid having the issues that we saw during testing at the starts of like people going into anti-stall, people not being able to get the car going. Like, I think when the practice start that I saw had 8 drivers doing a practice start, 4 of them got off the grid. One of them went into anti-stall as soon as they got off the grid. 3 of them had to like wait for a little bit and then they could get it going. Like, it was a mess. It was a disaster. So, like, from that perspective of, well, it's going to be a disaster, agreed. I, too, as McLaren, who didn't make any changes to my engine, would not want a disaster come Australia. However, that's why you were told a year ago to make changes and then you decided not to do it. Like, it's the same thing that Christian Horner, hate him, but he was right at the time, was telling Toto, which was, you knew that the ground effect cars had the potential to do porpoising. You chose to not make a change because you didn't want to slow your car down. So now, you're having the problem you knew you were going to have, and you're just mad because everybody else took steps to mitigate the problem. And you're mad that your issue is causing you to be slower than making those changes would have made. It's the same thing with McLaren. You are mad that on this race start, if you have a botched start, you could lose 7 places at the start. But it would have been better for you to just make the change you knew you needed to make, instead of being like, oh, well, we'll just figure it out later. It's not going to be an issue, when you did indeed know it was going to be an issue. Like, there was no shot you were getting here and starts were going to be A-okay. Like,
so then what does Ferrari
works.
rectifying the issue have to do with the... You get what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Ferrari rectifying the issue only has anything to do with the way that F1 goes about rule changes. Right? Which is that if a rule change is requested to be made, every team has to agree in order for it to be made, unless it's a safety issue. Then the FIA can supersede a non-unanimous vote and go, we're going to make it anyway. So the only relevance of Ferrari figuring this out is that there's no reason Ferrari will ever vote to make these changes that McLaren is asking for. Because from Ferrari's perspective, it's, we made our engine slower to fix this issue. You chose not to fix this issue, and now you can't start a race. We both made our choices, design-wise. Why are we changing the rules
Mm-hmm.
because you made a bad design choice? Like, they didn't make the ground effect cars less sucky because Toto Wolff made a horrible design choice. They went, you made a bad
Yeah.
design choice. You
Yeah.
chose to make a bad car. That's your
Mm-hmm.
business. You can fix your bad car. You just don't like what it's going to take to fix your bad car. Same thing. McLaren does not like the changes they're going to have to make to fix this issue because it will make them
So is the
slower.
FIA actually taking this like issue from McLaren seriously?
It sounds like they're going to have it in a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unsure if they are legitimizing it as a safety concern. My thought is that even if they are legitimizing it as a safety concern, specifically
Mm-hmm.
this whole like engine start procedure thing,
Yeah.
you can always just start from the pit lane. That's what you normally do when a car isn't fit to start on the grid. If
Wow.
you genuinely think your car can't start on the grid, the FIA goes, you have to do a pit lane start. So it sounds like you have to do a pit lane start until you can fix your car.
That
That's what
sucks to
happens every
suck.
other time that your car isn't ready to go. You have to start from the pit lane. And that's
Sucks to suck.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the number one. The other two, I think, and he's doing the same dog and pony show that Toto did, where it's like, this isn't about competition, this is about safety. We need to be taking every step to make the drivers safe. And it's like, this is a problem
Okay.
for only some of you. And it's a
Yeah.
design choice. So, like, it is what it is. But two of the other concerns, which I think are very valid, and honestly, I'm perfectly fine with them being changed, was the lift and coast situation at the
Okay.
end of straights. So basically, in order to get their batteries like up to speed and like
Mm-hmm.
actually able to do the stuff that they're supposed to do, it's looking like they're going to have to do a lot of lift and coast at the end of
Mm-hmm.
every straight. And so they're concerned that if you have a driver coming up really fast behind and the guy in front of him starts to lift and coast, it could cause a crash, right? Same thing with the overtake mode. Not a safety concern, but he was just saying that the overtake mode is like a pussy bitch version of DRS. It's not effective. And he's basically like, nobody will overtake because it's bad. It's a bad tool. Those two I think are perfectly valid. I'm not hating on McLaren just because they recommended them. I think those two should be changed. I want to see bitches overtake. Like, let's get it
Yeah,
together.
no, that the overtakes are what makes it fun.
Yeah.
You're just
So
gonna
two
watch
out of
people just
three.
drive in a straight line.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 McLaren. Better than you normally do. I'll take it. I'll take 2 out of 3 good suggestions.
All right, fine, 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 whatever.
But that sounds like what we got coming up for us. We have
Mm-hmm.
DTS dropping in a week and a
27th.
half.
27th or 28th?
27th.
Okay.
We have 27th DTS. We have a lot
Have
going
you seen the
on.
cover? Like the cover?
I think I have.
When it's like they make it basically seem like a Lando Max face off.
Oh yes, I think I've
I
seen
was
that
like,
one.
this is so
Honestly, I have not been
cheesy.
up to date with anything like
Mm-hmm. That's the only
DTS
thing I have
wise.
seen is the cover. And I'm like, y'all made it seem like the whole season was like Max versus Lando. And it's like, y'all tried to make it that way.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how DTS turns out. I'm just crossing my fingers that they do not give Oscar Piastri a weirdo villain edit. I don't know
Oh
how
my
they could do that,
God.
but sometimes they do. I'm scared,
How?
but
I don't think he'll get
listen.
a villain edit.
I don't.
If anything, I think he's gonna get like a sad
An
edit.
incompetent edit. Oh, sad
Yeah.
edit. See,
Well,
I'm
kind of
scared
the same
'cause I
thing.
feel
Like same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm scared because I feel like DTS really wanted Lando to be their new Danny Rick.
They did.
Like with the way they were
This.
setting up the whole situation last season. I'm like
I agree.
scared that that's what they're gonna do, and therefore the fact that Oscar and him had any beef will put Oscar in the villain edit slot. But I'm hopeful that that's not the case.
I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today.
Really?
Saying it there. Don't get us copyright strikes, please. Anyway.
I don't think so. I did not sound that great, so some people might not even recognize what song I was singing.
Hello?
That's funny.
But also,
we'll
who's
be back
striking us?
for other episodes. predictions. We're gonna do a draft next week, listeners. And obviously, we're gonna get into DTS. We're gonna get into races. Everybody's gonna be excited. But before we let you go, we are keeping Pop Culture Corner this year. It will be here. It'll be shorter. We're not going to be doing our 45-minute pop culture deep dives.
Yeah, we promise.
We promise.
If it's something significant,
unless it's something T. Listen, if something T happens, maybe when Miss Wendy Osefo finally goes to trial, we might need to do a little breakdown.
Because
it might need to happen. We got a lawyer on the pod. We might need to break it down.
So, don't expect too much. I don't know anything about fraud or criminal. Listen. Scary.
Free Wendy. Hashtag free Wendy.
Listen, the lace lifting in the mugshot.
Listen, go watch Potomac. She explains the lace lifting. Okay? Go watch the reunion. She explains it all. But my pop culture corner for the ladies. Are you watching Love is Blind Ohio?
What? Ohio?
They're in Ohio this season.
Yeah, you act like Ohio's not like a place in the United States. Like
it's barely a place.
It's just so random. It's so random.
Midwest. It's actually perfect. It's the quintessential.
Because where was the last Midwest place they did?
Because y'all want to know two places that they haven't done.
Where?
Or three places. Name the three places that they have not done that you would expect them to do.
L.A., New York.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. I know they did. Well, okay, because they did 2 Texas.
Miami.
Seasons. They haven't done Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the 3 that when people from out of this country think of the States, those are going to be in like your top 5, top 10. Those are 3 that Love is Blind has not done, and I
don't think they should. New York, I could see a New York season. But they should never do an LA or Miami season.
I don't even think
they shouldn't have even done a Houston season. I don't think they should have even done Houston because look at how that turned out.
Both those seasons were a mess. Oh my god, y'all's people.
Anyway,
DC was a mess too. DC was a mess.
Listen,
my people were out there.
I've been seeing some of them outside. Did I tell y'all? I done seen Milton outside at the club. I'll tell you about it later.
At the club?
But I think if they do like
before or after him and Lydia's divorce?
After.
Girl, I don't know.
That doesn't mean anything because according to Lydia, he was out in these streets.
That's what I'm saying.
But anyway, before we get too down the rabbit hole, because this is what we do. The reason I say I think they could do like they could do like a LA or a New York, but it'd have to be like an Orange County type of thing, or like
the suburbs,
Albany, New York.
Albany,
upstate.
Once you start getting into like New York City, LA, you start getting.
Much.
They should do a Long Island.
Your wannabe.
Love is Blind Long Island.
I'd rather die.
No.
I have numerous friends from Long Island. You couldn't pay me to watch Love is Blind Long Island.
No, they should go up to like Syracuse,
New York. Yeah, something like that. Okay, but going back to Love is Blind, Ohio. I have watched the first episode. I've watched a review on it. Just side note for viewers, I got a new job, so that has been. I have not as tapped in right now as it pertains to social.
Congratulations on employment.
Social media, TV, movies, and that is my bag. So it is a little bit stressing knowing that I'm behind the 8 ball right now. Do you know I haven't even watched one single second of Bridgerton yet?
I've even watched some of Bridgerton.
I'm telling you, I'm behind.
I watched the first 2 episodes. How did I beat you?
So anyway, I've watched one episode. One episode. I really liked the couple that got engaged the first episode.
Christine and Vic. I like them.
Like them, but other than that, that's all I've gotten for you. Except I do know some of the tea.
Wait, they got engaged the first episode?
There's
Somebody
usually always
always gets engaged the first episode.
Okay.
Lauren and Cameron got engaged the first episode.
Yeah, I have to say, most of the time they have like the quote unquote like
sweet couple.
Sure thing.
Sweet couple. It's not always necessarily a sure thing, but it's always the one that's like not too much drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or not like you're not going to see anyone like in a triangle get engaged on the first
exactly
episode.
Valid.
But yeah. So what was your question when it came to Love is Blind Ohio?
My question when it came to Love is Blind Ohio is I wanted to get the ladies' takes on the Emma situation. And I'll describe it to you, which is It's a two-parter question.
Okay.
This character, Emma, is unsure if she wants kids because she is adopted. She's unsure of what she may genetically pass down to future children. So,
That's
question
what
number
genetic
one
testing is for.
is: do you think you should go on Love is Blind if you are unsure about having children? And
No,
question number two
okay, sorry.
and question
Continue.
number
Okay.
two is: what if you were on Love is Blind and you encountered somebody who was unsure about having children? What would your reaction be? Because I'm taken aback by the men in these pods, and I know why they're reacting the way they are. I can get into my personal feelings on why none of the men seem to view this as an issue. But what are your guys' thoughts on
So
that?
I believe that yes, of course she should have gone on to Love is Blind even though she was unsure about having kids. I don't
Absolutely.
think that every single human being on this earth wants to have kids and
Mm.
or should have kids, but
Should
that's not a
have
topic.
kids.
So yeah, I think it's totally fine because wasn't there a couple on one of these Love is Blinds, who knows what country, that they both ended up gravitating to each other because they both didn't want kids.
Yeah, that
And
happens this
so,
season, I believe.
oh, well, it wasn't then. It's not something I know.
Yeah,
But
but
I believe, I actually might have been another country. That might be why.
I
But
think
they
so.
both ended up, they're like, I don't want kids. Like, oh, I don't have kids either. Or the guy was like, I don't want to have kids. She was like, to be honest, like, I don't like feel compelled to have kids right now. So like, I'm down. But she wasn't
Hmm.
in a place where she was like, oh no, I have to have kids or no, I can't. But she was like in a place I'm unsure. She met a guy who she really liked, and she's like, you know what? I like you enough to kind of put a stop to that sort of
Mm.
potential or dream. I
I
don't know.
think if
But yeah,
you're
and then the
open and
second
honest
part,
about it, there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, and then the second part of your question, I say is, wait, exactly what was it again?
My second part of my question is: we I might even rephrase it. We see a lot of the men on the show when
Yeah.
Emma goes, I'm unsure. They basically go, well, you'd make a great mom, so it'll be fine.
Ew.
I have my own personal.
So, what was? Can you repeat your question one more time?
Yes, so my question was, and it's less of a question, I think it's more of a thought line from me,
Mm-hmm.
is I have my own personal feelings on why it is not a deal breaker to the men
Yeah.
to hear somebody's clearly. And when Emma says unsure, like, she's not saying unsure in like the blasey blah way that some people say unsure, right? She is clearly like deeply struggling with whether or not she wants kids.
Hmm.
And I think that I don't find the men's reactions confusing. I actually find them very, very typical, because of the kind of men that they are and because of the way that the discussion goes. But they all kind of respond with this, well, that's fine. You make a great mom. You can figure it out. And in my opinion, on both, like on my first question and my second question, I think the only way that you could feel that way, and mind you, the men are not like, I'm also unsure. These men are telling Emma that it is their entire life's purpose and goal to be a dad. They would resent
Wait.
their future wife if they never had
Oh
children,
God.
right? And in my opinion, the only reason, if you are a man like that, that you would ever even consider a woman who says that she's unsure about children in a process where you are going to get engaged in 10 days
You plan to impregnate her.
is because you don't respect her enough to think that she's being serious, and you don't respect her enough to think that she might not change her mind when you tell her to change her mind. That's the reason why. And so that's why I say, if I thought that she was going to be sitting across the wall with men that had enough respect for women to take them seriously when they say things, I would agree
Mm-hmm.
with you that absolutely you should come on Love is Blind if you don't have an answer to the question of if you want kids.
Hmm.
Knowing that there is no shot in hell that on this Ohio season, you're sitting across from men
You
with
are in
that
Ohio.
high of a level respect for your own autonomy that when you go, I am unsure, that is an answer. Unsure is not, oh, well, I'll convince you to have kids, right? Because one of the guys in a confessional basically goes like, oh, well, I'm not worried about this because I'll convince her to have kids, right? Knowing that those are the kind of men that you're going to be across the wall from, I do actually think that you need to kind of be more solid in your answer, yes or no, right? Purely because you have 10 days. I think it is very difficult in 10 days to suss out if the guy across the wall from you has that much respect for your personhood. And so I think you almost need to know your own answer so that you can reject this guy who wants kids this badly. If you don't want kids. Or you can go along with it because you both want kids. I think that in a normal situation where you had more time to suss out his views of women's personhood, I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
who gives a fuck if you don't know? I
Mm.
think 10 days is really difficult to suss that sort of thing
And then
out.
you have to
And
be
they're telling you,
engaged after that 10 days.
and they're telling you, like, oh yeah, we'll figure this out together. I really want kids, but like, I'd still love you. Things would be difficult, but da 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 da. I don't think that they are getting accurate assessments of what's going on. And so I think it's unfortunate, but I don't think that she's in a pool of people to be able to have that kind of nuanced situation at all. Which is unfortunate because it's not her fault that she's not across the wall from men who actually like take her seriously when she says that.
My thing is, in hearing the answer that these men are giving her, in them saying things like, that is my purpose in life, that's an answer for her already. She needs to dip up out that room. Because I'm sorry, honey, that's giving hole poking and condoms to me.
All right, listeners. Well, that's our pop culture corner. Maybe the people will get caught up on their Love is Blind watching, on their general TV watching. We will be back next week with our F1 2026 predictions draft. We'll be doing all of it. So get ready. Rate, review, subscribe. Send this episode to somebody you haven't seen in a while, just like you haven't seen us in a while.
Ooh.
And we'll be talking to you later, listeners.
Bye
Bye.
bye.